Hello, hello, YouTube. Hello. Hi, if this is your first time, welcome to Africa. Hashtag here I come. And my name is Kaya. Hello, hello, hello. Today's topic is going to be about aligning death, how death aligns. So we're going to bring my uncle in. Donnie goes in. Hey, hello, Unc. How are you? How are you? Hello. Hello again. Oh, goodness. My crystals. I got crystals all around me. Got my crystals all. You all right?
Have some sound issues. Huh?
You good over there, Aunt?
Yeah, I'm good.
I can't hear you.
You still can hear me?
Oh, a little bit. Turn it up.
That's high as it go.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Can you hear me? Cause I can go
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I can hear you. So you said that you found that interesting how death aligns.
Yeah.
I came out that earlier talking to my sister on the phone, and I was telling her about uh, a homeboy of mine because I was driving and a young man was with him, and he had got murdered. But I was driving and he hurried up and got out the street. Like, let me get out that crazy lady, because they kind of a little scared of me around here. Well, they not scared of me, but they give me a little respect and they don't want to hear my mouth. They don't bother with me. So, I was telling her like, wow, how if he wouldn't have went through what he went through with his baby mom, he wouldn't have never been here. And he would have never been with them, and it would have never happened. Like all right, he's he would go through things with his baby mom, so he would go stay at his mother's house,
Okay.
which is one of the residents, and he was going to court with them about something. Hello, welcome. Oh, hi, welcome. Thanks, So, they were going through whatever, and he would come stay at his mom's house. So his mom would always, one of them moms get on you, do the right thing, da da da. So, I would smoke weed. He can't smoke weed in the house, so he would come down here. He'll fall asleep. I'll let him lay on my couch. That was my homeboy. So I told him, I said, these guys around here, certain guys, I was like, yo, don't deal with them. You don't need to deal with these guys. They're not good guys. And he like, oh, I don't mess with them. I don't mess with them like that. It just be me. And I'm saying to myself, like, dude, I done seen you speaking to these dudes before. I never seen you hanging with them. But anywho, so one day I'm coming in, I'm driving in, and I'm going around to get to my parking space, and they all ganged up in the back, where the dumpster is in the back, And I'm like, wow, didn't he just tell me he don't hang with these guys? Like, are you kidding me? So I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is going to cost this guy his life. It's going to be, some things. So one day he was standing on the balcony over there looking in my window, and I sensed something, but I was so mad that he was chilling with these guys that I just didn't say nothing. I didn't want to talk to him no more. Nothing. I couldn't believe, that he about to get himself in a whole lot of trouble sitting there dealing with these guys.
Yeah.
So a couple days later, he was murdered, and the guy was shot in the eyeball. Come to find out, the guy, cousin got killed. Oh, but because he was trying to rob his own family member, and he took my homeboy with him. And I'm saying to myself, did my homeboy know that that's what he was going to go do? Because he never struck me to be a thief. The type that would like to,
Yeah.
You know, he was always like talking about getting money and go get a job or hustling. You know, never, you know, stealing from nobody. So I was confused about that. Hi, how are you? Welcome. I was a little confused about that. So I said to my homegirl, I said, wow. I said, if he was never involved with them and wasn't with, and he was going through stuff with his baby mom. You know what I mean? It's just funny how the universe lines situations and levels up and scenes with this. It has something to do with this one character, but there's other characters involved too that partake in that alignment with that death. Do that make sense to you? Like you got his baby mom over here. You know, this is my metaphor. This is the only way that I can get it to explain what the universe is be telling me. You know, I'm trying to explain what they, you know, what they telling me. But it's like, you know, it was trying to explain to me and show me how death is orchestrated.
Okay.
You know, so you got your scene over here with the baby mama and the argument going to court and all of that. Welcome everyone, welcome, and going to court. So this is home base though. This is the coon, the castle, and all of that. The family, the children, the baby mama. You know. So you got the thank you. You have all of that.
Okay.
So now things are shaking up over here. The universe is doing whatever he did to make whatever karma or whatever lesson or whatever she created. It depends on that side. When I'm going to speak, I can only see the side that they telling me and the side that I was in part of. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, she's there. Then you have the guys here, and then you go with the other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like set it up where y'all all going. You going and hanging with these guys, and then this guy take you somewhere else, and then that's being lined up, and then all of these things is lined up, and then you die. So if you would have never went through what you went through with your baby mom, you would have never been over there to be aligned right there. Do it make sense to you? Am I making sense?
Yes,
I'm trying to explain
it
what
sounds.
I know, but trying to put it in words.
Yeah, it sounds like a movie.
A who?
It sounds like a movie.
A movie. Well, it is
Yeah,
basically.
this happened. This lines up with that, and all these, all these unrelated yet related things come together, and it ends up in your demise.
Right. Isn't it like amazing but then crazy? You don't think so?
No, yeah, I think so. Like I said, it sounded like a movie to me. I could see, as you said, that I could see each scene, and I could actually picture that, like they unrelated, and you don't find out till the end that it was
that,
your time.
that who was involved.
Yeah, and how it plays out.
That's why we got to be careful what we say and what we doing to each other.
Yeah,
Is everything is a connection.
so how do you? Is it the karma that puts it all together, or how do
No,
you look at it?
it's I wouldn't say karma. It's more like a contract,
Okay.
a spiritual contract. Whatever contract you made, or whatever you agreed to, you know.
I say that in the term of if it's your time, it's your time.
Well, we all here to live and die.
So I
You
mean,
know,
as you go through those things, like if one didn't happen, would some different going place, and they will all end up you at the same place and the same time when you transition? Or you saying that all these things that are unrelated, they just happen to relate it to your time to transition?
it's like basically you have to be careful how you move. How you move determines on how long you're gonna be here, what's going to happen to you. All of that is how you move. It's like a chessboard. You know, you move the wrong way, you know what's going to happen. But instead, we got body parts and family members and those pieces. We have those. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
So if we make moves that are different in this chess game, then we allotted more time, or we go.
If you move the right way, you can see death can be prolonged but not prevented.
Okay.
You know, so you gotta not only watch how you move, but once again, you gotta have that connection with the spirit. And depending on the relationship that you have with the spirit, it determines on how you can move. Some people can't move messy, and some can. Some can't. You know, I used to can move messy. I can't move messy no more. They won't let me move messy.
Me neither.
Huh?
Me neither.
But so it's like, but that because the spirit was telling me, and I'm like, I just didn't understand it. And then when I was talking to her, that metaphor came up. So I'm like, well, maybe if I mention that, maybe somebody can bring some type of enlightenment to that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. But I mean, when you said it, I thought about having
the ancestors.
they talking to you, lights, TV stuff cutting on, lights cutting out. I thought about deja vu when you said that, right? And I thought about in my life the things that when it came to me that before I made a decision where it was like I remember this happening and it happened in a bad way. So normally I was gonna go left, but I'm gonna turn right. And I remember that happening. I can't think of the specific times now, but I remember this happening more than once to me. That I can't remember if it was in a dream or if it was just me uh, being awake and realizing that this I go this way, it's some danger. I might die, or something's gonna go wrong if I go this way. I need to go the other way. And I can't remember how I learned that I should listen to that and go the opposite direction. I can't remember right now.
That's a good thing. See, that's a good thing. That's where that comes from. That's what I hear. That's what talks to me. Those intuition that is coming from that type of energy force. If that makes any sense,
Yeah,
you got to keep tapping into that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you got to experiment with that shit. Like, I had to do that. Remember yesterday I was saying when I was speaking in tongues, I was saying every alphabet in my head until my tongue would not let me say any more words in that letter. Then I'll go on to the next letter. That's the spirit was letting me know when to go to the next letter until it was no more words to say in that letter, which wasn't a lot. So, that made me a little curious too. But I like to experiment because I already know, or whatever this is that's coming isn't normal. So, I'm not gonna let it control me. I used to, because I used to be, attacking people and everything. I used to let them entities do whatever they wanted to do. But then I started training them. You're gonna know this is how we operate. That's why when I said I got them tarot cards, and they try to get aggressive with me, no, that's not how we work. The crystals, we work together as a team. We don't do all that. We ain't doing that. You know, I had to shut that down. Respect to the cards. You know, but
so who
no,
has
no,
the power in that
no.
situation?
Huh?
So who has the power in that situation?
Who has the power in what situation?
The one you just named. You said you had to you know tell the tarot cards they got to pipe down.
Oh, I had to control.
Okay.
I had to control. Because I'm bringing you into my home to work together because I don't have to use you as cards. I can go pick another deck. And that's what I would have done if those cards would have kept trying to be aggressive with me, because then that giving me the sign that it has ill intentions. So the cards submit to me to let me know that it does not have ill intentions. If that makes any sense.
So in that the way you putting that, right? See, and I kind of look at it words, right? And that they only have the power that we place on them. I think about, like, I don't know if you watch cartoons, right? Or
Yeah, from
X-Men.
time to time.
X-Men, right? I used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like the dude Gambit, right? And how he used to take the cards, he would put his energy on them, and he would throw the cards and use them as weapons. So it was like a regular playing card until he touched it and empowered it and threw
Okay.
it, and it was his weapon. So I kind of look at words as we give the power and put the power on it versus it having its own power by its own to be able to affect us. So, and I say that to say it's just like in okay, it's thousands of different languages, and in all of them we could greet each other and say hello. Which one of those is right?
I don't know.
Or are they all right, or is it? I mean, or is the intention, or the
I, I I
choosing?
don't. I never asked the spirit that. I don't know, but I know the spirit always called me for a while. Called me girl. Sometimes, and but when the spirit would touch me while I'm asleep and call me when I'm asleep, it'll say my real name. If I'm asleep, the energy will say my real name. But if I'm awake, it calls me girl.
Your your natural name or your spiritual name?
The energy gave me the name Kaya and then Sama. But then when I looked it up, these are like people,
Okay.
like people from like way back. So I'm like, well, wait a minute, are you giving me that name, or because I like it, so I want to use it for me. So I didn't get an answer after that,
Mm-hmm.
but Kaya Sama. So, but we never really used words. You know, we used to talk through the mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's a more effective way of
We
communicating.
still do it. We still do it. We do it. We just not doing it, but we do it. You know,
Yeah.
like we talked about that. What was it yesterday? When a fight or something ready to go down, and you look at a
Yeah.
motherfucker like, yo, you know what I mean? You give them that look like, you know,
Yeah.
it was sounds and noises like that and stuff like that. It wasn't.
It was frequencies, and
Yeah,
because I mean
that's
that's
crazy.
yeah. So I mean that's what I think about when I think about real communication, because it seems like this verbal communication can always be taken out of context.
I know.
So, and I find it hard sometimes trying to convey a thought when words can have so many different meanings depending on, or explain it to people and that the words don't matter as much as the intention that you put on the words and the receiving person, the energy they put on it. It's like a that's what a power link is.
It's like a crazy power because it's the intentions of the word and the actual spell
Yeah.
of the word. So it's like you gotta. It's man, it's too much going on Earth.
Right. So how do you I don't know, how do you reconcile that when you're trying to communicate thoughts to people that um, with your intentions, and for them to receive it in a manner where they actually receive the message.
Say that again.
How do you reconcile between what you're trying to convey, your thought that you're trying to use these words to have, and how they receive it so they get the message properly?
If who get the message? What message?
Whoever the person, whatever the message you're trying to relate to the person. So I mean, on both ends, we got to have a connection, right? If we having a conversation, me and you could be having the same conversation and using the same words, but if you have a different understanding of what those words mean,
Right.
then we're still not communicating.
Right. Okay.
So it's a gap in that power, that.
Right.
So I always try to think about that when I'm talking and speaking, that I relaying my messages in a way that they can be received. That's why I always like to, when I'm talking, I always like to use natural examples to explain spiritual principles, because the natural is a reflection of the spiritual, and the spiritual is a reflection of the natural. And if it works in the spiritual realm, it should work in the natural realm as well, and vice versa. Most times,
Now, not necessarily because the spiritual realm. No,
not all the time.
not necessarily. When you say this, I know what it doesn't, because the spiritual realm, people judge people like me. Is not it's not always good. And I'm all right with that. I can care the motherfucking less. I'm dead ass serious. So that's on them. So
In the natural realm,
is the what works in the spiritual realm don't always work in the natural world.
not work, just trying to explain them the relationship between natural concepts and spiritual ones, um, in a context where they can understand it, like sow and reap. How you explain sow and reap to somebody to where they can explain it, or what rule and what scale do you use to measure your truth on? What measuring stick do you use to measure it? Do you measure? A lot of people operate on how they feel, but
Emotion.
we all got feelings. So what do you use to measure your rightness or wrongness? Your how do you weigh it without weighing it against something? So I say I weigh it against the universe, because that's the been here the longest and the most accurate measuring tool that we have, versus my opinion. So if I say sow and reap, I like to bring the example of a seed, and like I say, it's a difference, because sow and reap with the Almighty is a little different than sow and reap with in a natural realm, because how science says that energy, no what do they say, that thing, energy, no matter is ever created or can be destroyed, and everything's the same, and for every force there's an equal and opposite force. What I'm saying is, with God, it doesn't necessarily work that way. And I always like the example of the seed. I can take one apple seed, plant it in the ground, and then I can grow an apple tree. And from that one seed, I can get millions upon millions and millions of apples. But you try that same thing with you building a car. That one car is only going to make one car, and it's going to constantly cost you gas. It's going to maintenance. It's going to deteriorate. You're never getting more out of it than what you put in it. And I think that's the exception when it comes to God. Anything that's spiritual and spiritually sanctioned, or is a principle relating to the Almighty, that there's always a harvest, a reward, a bounty that's far more than what you put into it. And if it's something we do it. Then it's always falling apart. We always. That's kind of what they do when they trying to do with energy and stuff. They've been trying forever, trying to make a motor or energy source where they can put less in and get more out. But it always is it's a force that's always against it. They can never get there. But God had already created that, and you can do that in a seed, and you're gonna get millions upon millions. And I apply that concept to life. So the things you're doing in your life, if you're reaping a harvest from it, then those things are in line with His will. But if it's death, destruction, and there's nothing coming out of it, then 9 times out of 10, then that's not of God. If that makes sense.
Well, everything is of the Most High because it's created. Everything is created by that entity, you know, and even the bad people down here, that there are still clusters of him too, the bad side, because you see the bad side of the Most High through the weather, things like that. So um, that's how the planet shows its aggressiveness and anger and attitude. You know.
And I put in the context, even in that, even in death, is always still a reward. When that storm comes through, it might knock everything down. And
Right.
even fires, forest fires. There's some trees that won't even reproduce and on a large scale unless it's a fire and burn them down, and then they come back to life. So even in the death and the destruction, since we were talking about death, then there's still a transition, and it's still you get more out of it than what you lost.
Yeah, but we don't see that part because we wasn't taught that. And it's so funny how we use less of our brain. Majority of our brain that isn't being used is not being used, if that makes sense. Like, so imagine all this power we have and all this knowledge that we had that's all in this side of our brain that we're not even using. And then, that's why when people say that they can do this and do that, and they've proven that they can do that, people still don't believe it. Like, just because you didn't tap into that part of your brain doesn't mean anything, and, you know, um, it's something about the left side that's magical. Both hands are, but it's something about that left hand. And, we were taught not to use that left hand. We was taught the opposite. She said the carology. Niology. That was funny. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This one was funny. Oh, hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Blind Guy, his wife. They're like, y'all have to check out their channel. Oh, my goodness. They're so amazing. You have to. You have to. They're awesome. Check out their channel. They're very good storytellers. They would have took my story and made it so amazing. And unlike me, I'm all over the place with it. That's all right. I probably learned some things from them. But uh yeah, everything is created from the Most High. But they already told me that. When I say they, it's like it's not just one voice that talk. Like I'm learning. I learned that my eye that was given in my mouth, and that's what I call the Most High, the woman side. I was told a girl, a woman, a guy, and a dragon, and I forget what the other one was. I gotta think. What is it? It was one more. It was four. But it was a dragon, a woman, a man, and something else. Maybe it's meant for me not to say it because that's actually going to be my logo. So that's probably why they shut me up. You see how they put a wrench right up in that. But they so funny, yo. I'm telling you. You ever and they're in the spirits, they're so cool too. Like they're really, really funny. Like, for instance, you ever put on, like in their house and you put on your clothes or whatever, and you miss and you fall on the bed, but you don't hurt yourself, but you just fall on the bed, but you all serious, you mad about that, like, or because you trying to hurry up and get just like, but not thinking that that's them like playing. They have a sense of humor, trust me. Yeah, well, that's how they play with me. I don't know about no, and I just laugh like y'all play too much, and then it's just I don't know. I just treat them like people. I treat them like people, and I say them because it's different ones. It's different ones. You have the weather. When you said that one day, I meant to mention it too. I was going to school, and this when I had started going to church or whatever, and this one my husband and I were together, and I was like, oh hell no, I don't have no umbrella and it's raining. I said no. Please let it stop raining. And I mean, I was just like chanting for this rain to stop, and it fucking stopped, yo. I was hyped. I was like, yeah. I was like, at least until I got to school. As soon as I got to school, it started raining again. I could care less what happened to me on the way back home. I just didn't want nobody seeing me because, back before I moved to Florida, I was always, straight. You know what I'm saying? Well groomed, all that. Here, like I said, this is survival here. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I love me. I don't care, and I don't care about no internet, no none of that. I'm not trying to attract no man. So, but it'd be funny. It's just they just tell me stuff. They just tell me stuff. So, and my alter ego do speak to me. Guy Saku, that's his name.
So how do you relate it to death and transition, and how all those things line together? I've noticed that a lot of times when people are getting ready to transition, their attitudes may change. They
Yeah.
nice, then they'll start
Yeah.
be, or they'll start doing things that they would normally do.
Or they'll say something really deep and mysterious. Yeah. That's why I like to pay attention to people, why they say what they say, why they move their head, why they. I watch people,
Yeah.
Because I want to learn, and I have to incorporate that in my gift. Sorry, the light will turn back. They'll turn the light back on when they feel like it. Okay. That's crazy. Sorry, y'all, but whatever. Y'all play too much. That's how I talk to them. Like that's probably why I'm so like close. I don't know. That's probably why. I don't know. I treat them like people. And when I say them, meaning like our ancestors, like my cousin Nat Turner, I know that nigga around. I know for a fact because I started feeling what he was doing. And that's how I found out I was related to him because I told my mom what I was feeling. I'm like, Mom, I'm ready to start, And she's like, oh, well, you was related to such and such, And I'm like, okay. So when I realized that, then I tried to control that urge.
Is that why you always say that? Like you act as like your grandfather, you act as like your uncle.
So, and niggas not ready to move. So, I'm not putting myself out there like that. So I'm just going to stand still, and furthermore, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. Oh, by the way, I forgot the good news. Lord have mercy. I forgot today. I forgot all about this.
Oh, you know what that
Look
is.
at me. I got my passport.
Got your freedom papers.
I cannot wait to get to Africa. Oh my goodness. Like, I said, look, I gotta get up out of here before you know.
It's time to start looking for them trees.
Yes, yo, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so funny, so funny. It's gonna be. I already know. I be riding like, ooh, that's sexy. Ooh, like, who the fuck walks around thinking trees is sexy? Like, are you kidding me? And they just be talking like, what about me? And then I just see the essence in it, in the tree. You know, I see bodies, all kinds of faces, all kinds of, I'm an artist, so I can look at anything and, I just can't draw it, but
Do you hear him speaking?
who?
Do you hear him speaking? Because I never paid attention to trees till a few months
Yeah,
ago.
they talk.
And, I never did till this year.
Yeah, they be talking.
They talk, they move,
They be laughing, all that, man. I'm telling you, they all that. They all that. When I was in jail and I would listen to the headsets and just watch the wind do itself. And it would blow on the trees and it was just how it would go with the music. Like, it was like they were comforting me. You know what I'm saying? It was amazing. It really is. Like, you got people that's connected to all different types of things. I'm not the only one that's connected to nature and trees and stuff like that. It's literally like other people like this. I just don't know who they are. I had a patient one day. Had an injury. What is it? And you left. Oh wow. I would love to hear that story. Let me put the link in there. You don't want to come in here and tell that story? And you know how to tell a story too? Like, give us a little treat over here, you know?
Something I have noticed
What happened?
that I always remember about people dying or transition, and from young to old and different types of people in different situations. It's like everybody called for God when they did. When you about to leave up out of here, as many times I heard, "Oh my God," they calling for him on the way out of here.
Oh, that's what I meant to say when you were saying something. It's also the will. It depends on how much will you have to live. If you had something to live for, that also prolongs your death.
Mm.
And I didn't know that until I got shot. I have a lot to live for. Let me put that back because I'm doing something. Give me a little time. But I'm not good with being sneaky. I tell you, boy, but don't do no crime around me. All right. It's like, no, I can lie for somebody else, but when it comes to me, you can see it. But I'll lie for your ass. Isn't that so weird?
Mm.
I just tell on myself. The spirits be like, nah, bitch, tell. Tell what you did. I be trying to lie. I really do. It just don't work out for me. But yeah, what was I saying though? Cause that was something you were saying, and I was like, damn, I wrote it down too. Let me see. What was I just saying,
You was just saying something about you that got shot and you got a will to live. Depends on how strong your will to live is.
Oh yeah, like some people, like yeah, the will to live can also help prolong, you know, um, death. And I didn't know that until I got shot, But I was like, no, I can't go. It's things I have to do for the people. I know my mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know I'm meant to be heard, but I'm like, what the fuck I'm gonna talk about? Who gonna want to listen to me? You know what I'm saying? I'm hood. Nobody like a person that's honest. You know what I mean? This bitch talking about hearing voices. But these voices don't have me hurting nobody and killing nobody. These voices are telling me to do good and right things. Except for Nat trying to wild. He tried to come over wild. He tried to wild out. I'm like, nah, nigga. No, I'm rolling out. I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. No. But when the people ready all at once, then I'm ready. Then we can unleash that. Okay. We can definitely do that. But yeah, it's people that's blessed like myself. I know y'all think it don't exist, but that's the little minded people on the low frequency. You feel me? So you stay on that low frequency and keep bringing your ass on back here. Because I was doing some research. I forget what channel I was on, and they were talking about the moles have a lot to do with how many times we've been here on this planet. And I was like, wow, I have a lot of them, and it's so weird because all my moles is on my left side.
Like moles.
Yes, and my cousin had the same exact moles I have, but hers is on her right. So weird. So weird. I'm like, how she had the same moles I had, but on the other side of her body.
Wow.
Is that means something?
What if they just start coming? I've noticed a lot more of them lately than I
What,
ever.
moles?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it could be what the ancestors was telling me was it could be from lessons that you learned, that you know, because we hear we don't punish me. I guess we was all some bratty little spirits or whatever, I don't know, and we down here and we had to learn a lesson. It's something that we did. It wasn't right.
Well, that's right there.
So you know, we being punished for it. You know, there's all kinds of things, but it's we not really gonna know what's going on until we leave here. And as soon as we get there, it's gonna be like, oh, okay. It's not gonna be like, I don't know. It's just it's gonna be. I didn't see like uh, homes and nothing like that. That's not what I see. You know,
No,
I seen nature.
okay.
I seen nature, like water. You know, beautiful things with water. You know, that's what I seen. I didn't see like houses, but a lot of this stuff that we're building is that that they're allowing us to build is stuff that we're going to be using. That stuff that's like really good for us as humans, that we learn how to gather up and survive off of and stuff like that. We're going to be able to have some of them things. I was asking them about the meat, but they told me nothing about that yet. All I seen was pick it off the tree and eat it. That's all I said. Pick a chicken off a tree. That didn't even look right. So I was just joking with the spirits though, but it was fruit though. I didn't see like, you know, because I know that you know, down here on Earth, you know, I don't eat meat, so it's been almost 5 years. But you know, for those that eat meat, I'm like, Dad, well, what about the people that eat meat? And when I used to eat meat, meat was good, you know. So, but the spirit never told me, you know, anything further than that. It would be nice if they do, you know. But I remember fish used to be sweet. Water used to have a sweet taste to it. You don't remember that taste?
Yeah.
I know I did.
Yeah.
All right, let me move that now. I finished my doing drugs on YouTube. It's like no. Hey, that's my medication. Cause I be hyper. I be hyper. Like I have so much energy. Like I'm like, dang, I'm old. Like slow down, lady. But give me a flight of steps. I'm tired. I don't understand it.
Right.
But I got a lot of energy.
Huh?
So what else? What else you had to ask me? I forgot all about my passport.
You know, I be trying to keep you on subject.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out.
the alignment with the death.
Yeah.
So yeah. So everything and everybody plays a part in your death.
Mm.
And that's so is wow. Like that's deep where people have control and don't even realize the control that they have over one's destiny. But then that's that saying, always be careful who you be around, because who you be around can lead you certain places.
Mm.
You know, so I don't know. I just I but death. I don't look at death like sad anymore. You know, I used to until Pentecostal church helped me with that.
Yeah.
Oh yes. 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 Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
I'm
How you doing?
fine. How are you?
Doing good. I won't be here too long because I don't like, and this is going to sound bad, but my life experience is that I just don't like dead people. So I'm gonna tell this story kind of quick.
You don't like what kind of people?
I said I don't like dead people.
Dead people. Okay.
Right, right. And so I apologize. It's late, and so I usually come on camera, but I can't come on camera after certain hours. So
That's all right. You're here. You're here, and I'm grateful. Oh my goodness. I'm so flattered.
yeah. But you know what? So I want to talk about I'm going to talk about this briefly because um I've been a nurse for a long time, and I had one lady that she had this head injury. She
Uh-huh.
was an older lady. She slipped on the ice on her steps, and they had taken a part of her skull out to try to do, I guess, do surgery on her brain or check her out or whatever. But I guess it was determined that she was, or maybe the family determined for her that, okay, let's just let her transition. Let's just let her go. Now, this lady, she was like, I remember when I went to her house because we were doing home visits at this time. So we were going to her house, um, just keeping her, giving her palliative care, basically, keeping her comfortable, which I thought was an oxymoron because I remember thinking, how do you keep somebody comfortable, but you're not doing anything to them? Like I remember them saying, you don't really have to turn her or give her any, or you don't have to give her anything. You don't, we're basically just coming in to record when she leaves, like when she breathes her last breath. And I remember thinking, well, you know what? Um, she might not, the recording might not happen because like I think we were taking vital signs because that
Yeah.
was really the only way we could prove, that she was here or not. Are there any more breaths? Is there a heartbeat? Just the basic signs of life. And so I'm there at her home. She's in a hospital bed, and her eyes are closed. And the way the nurses were giving the reports to each other was that she may or may not be sleeping. You can talk to her, but we're really, she's at the end of her life, and this is it. And I just kind of felt like, well, is this what she decided? Who decided this? And is she okay with this? Does she even know what's going on? You know, um, because they were explaining that, how you try to explain somebody else's situation, like you're looking at the baby, and since the baby can't talk, when the baby does something, you're explaining to other people, oh, he's upset for this. Oh, he needs this. Oh, we think, you're figuring it
Right.
out, but you're really guessing, you know. And then of course you learn the baby, so then you're not guessing anymore. But I'm thinking like, well, this lady, this is the first time she has died. So we're guessing, like we haven't learned, we have not learned what's going on in this situation. But okay, maybe somebody has seen enough deaths to know there's a constant. Maybe there's uh, a something like, something that happens every time, sort of like Donnie, you were just saying about people always calling for God at the end of their life. Here they go with this. So, so this is where I just remember thinking, I know one thing, you will not be dying in this 8 hours because I don't have time for it. I don't like, I just don't.
Okay? At all. Don't do
Right.
it.
Exactly.
Don't
Like
even
what you
do
know,
it.
boom. You know, so
Right.
so so but meanwhile, I'm also walking around her house looking. This lady is a horticulturist. She's an esteemed person in the community based off of the plaques and the awards and the accolades and her yard. So, her yard is like this amazing garden.
Wow.
It's like one of those storybook gardens, or like they cut out a little bit of one of the city gardens and placed it in her backyard. And so that was another thing that was kind of striking to me, that, well, if you're doing all this good work for the community and for other people, how are you ending your life with a stranger counting breaths,
Because they
and
had
counting.
insurance policy. They wanted something from her. That's why. That's
Hmm.
self-explanatory right there.
Right. It absolutely, but and I definitely understood that part, that,
Money was
oh, okay,
definitely involved.
right. That there were just like the the people in her life, I guess, that were left, because she was older. But she wasn't that old. Like the lady was only like 74 or something,
Oh
76,
wow.
which
That's not
means,
that's not bad.
right, it wasn't like she was already 90 or anything, which means, by the time you're 90, then you might have children that are older or have already passed away, or your grandchildren might be moved, or, they might not be in your life anymore. But this lady was young enough that I felt like, well, didn't she have a sister, a niece, some sort of family that would not just want to collect the money, but also be a part of this transition?
Right.
And of course, I never got those answers because there were only other personnel. It was like one nurse was coming in every 8 hours to work the shift. And so it wasn't like there were family members to talk to. There were no, um, and of course, by the time you get home, there's no doctor. Like they had already written her off essentially. So, there was no one to really get these answers. But at that time, my faith was just one that was founded in Christianity, Pentecostal faith. And so I was just like, well, I guess, you know, first of all, you're not dying right now. And when you do,
Right.
when you do, I guess you're going to wherever you deserve. But now I believe differently. Now, I believe that our heaven and hell is what we make it here on earth, and that I understand transition better, and that we transition to another realm, and that, we exist in other realms, but it's
Right.
not like we just burn it in that lake of fire they used to tell us we were
Right.
stepping into. So,
Right.
but, but,
It's the fact that we have to learn how to accept that, and we don't.
hmm
Our brains, we wasn't programmed to do so. So it's kind of hard for some of us to do so. I know for me it is. I'm being honest. I still be nervous despite of the spiritual things I encounter. I'm still scared.
right, right. So I don't know what your take is on that, the two of you, what your experience has been. But go ahead, Donnie. You look like you got some help.
Well, I think I kind of said with mine. I mean, when I had my heart attack, I wasn't scared to go. I think because I had reconciled the things I had here, I felt like I made amends for all my wrongs, and I was trying my best to as justly as I could. So I wasn't scared. But the only thing that made me stay was when I looked down and saw my wife and my son and their reaction. I saw
They
their
Mm.
gave you
pain.
that will.
Yeah,
They gave you that will.
because I didn't have it. I was ready. I felt like this is my time. It's my time. And for the first time in my life, I've never felt that way before. But
Mhm.
any other time it was like, God, give me a little bit more time. I ain't ready.
All right now.
But
One
that
more
time,
week. Come on. Next
that
month, give me a year.
yeah, just a little more time. But that time I was actually ready. So I guess it is a thing of will, and being prepared. And I've, like I say, I've seen. I mean, you're a nurse, so I'm sure you know because I mean, I was an EMT, so I've seen countless people leave out of here, and
Mhm.
I've seen them leave peacefully, and I've seen them and holler for God on their way out the door. So it's
Wow.
maybe it's if you got unfinished business here and that. I don't know.
It's
You know,
crazy.
I have a question about that too. I'm sorry, we're getting a lot of echo. Are y'all hearing it?
Yes, I can hear you.
We hear you.
Okay. So my question is, when you were saying, you you were ready. One thing that I've heard is that, and this comes from a doctor that said that whenever he's seen people, whenever they've been able to bring people back, the people have always said, number one, why did you bring me back? Because, and number two, they said that they felt complete acceptance for the first time in their life. Like they just felt completely accepted. And so I don't know what your experience has been if you were at that point
Yeah,
or
that's exactly what I felt. I was in complete acceptance. If this was my time, in my heart, I knew that I've done everything that I could do here. And like I say, the only thing that changed my mind was seeing my son and my wife in the room because they was pulling me back to do the what's the thing they do where they go through your arteries and all that stuff and
Oh,
they telling him they don't know what's going on and they shoot me up with all the medication and it's I was just sitting there looking at the ceiling and feeling the worst pain and stuff I ever felt in my life but I'm like hey it's my time so I was in complete acceptance.
mhm.
that's and I wonder what how did that align up? What you think triggered it to reverse it and you just had that chance again? What do you think anything triggered that?
The Almighty let me know that I still got work to do. That's what I'm here. I'm here for them. I live my
Okay.
life for my children because they not ready for me to go. It wasn't that I wasn't ready to go. They not ready or prepared.
Mhm.
I still got work for them that I got to do,
Right.
and
Hmm.
I don't know what it is or And like I say, my youngest son, well, he was probably this was a couple years ago. He'd be 18 in March, but it was for them. It wasn't for me. And I think that they wasn't prepared. They still got a lot to learn to be prepared for life. And I think if they to see me leave like that, it would have it would have it would have been a major turn for them.
Mm.
And I think the Almighty didn't want to happen, but I was at peace with it.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Well, I hope you wouldn't have another one. Because I know some people that had them, what they call them, splints. Or what is it called? A splint?
It's not. It's a. Is it a shunt? It's
Something
not.
that
It's a.
they put in your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but it's that catheterization, that cardiac catheterization thing. I forgot what they call it.
That's, I don't, I'm not ready for all that.
Mm.
I tell you. That's why I said I need to get peace in my life. because I don't want to have to, you know, be sit down because of that. Because I know when you get older and you start hollering and screaming, that's when that alignment come up for that death. You know, setting the people up, the people all, lined up in order, working the nerves.
And,
So,
and then when they get ready to transition too, they got that blank stare across the room where they ain't looking at nobody that's here, and it's a eerie look that I noticed people have. It's like they looking through this dimension, and they talking about people, or they're talking about um, people that are gone, or two people that are gone. It's I don't know.
I'm just trying to be right. I'm just hoping that I'm part of, you know, uh, where I can just be ascended and not be in the midst of nothing else. So I got what's going on up in my head as far as what they telling me to do, and I'm gonna follow that. They gonna send me the good people and bad people. They already told me. I'm like, well, damn. Well, thank you for that. So I'm like, I hope it's not will cost me a whole lot. But meaning my life, or well, I not my life or whatever. But even if I go to Africa and die, at least I'm on that soil. All I know is my flesh needs to be on that soil. But
And
about the lady, did the lady ever die?
I'm sure she did, but let me tell you, I'm sure she did like that night. I mean, not that night. I'm sure she did because the thing is, we weren't even giving her water, which is where I felt like, well, even if she wasn't ready, we killing her. Like we're
Exactly.
so I just
I
felt
would have reported that.
that's what they do. That's what they do. They don't give a
That
foot
something
or
ain't right
what.
about this. No, no, no.
I watched one of my aunts die, and they did the same thing. Like no, she's still moving, like she's trying to say stuff, but they like no, this part of her body shutting down and giving no
Mhm.
water, no nothing. I'm like, something about this don't seem right.
Look, that's what I said at the time because I wasn't, how it's one of those things where I wasn't experienced in that sort of situation. I had never experienced that before where it's like, oh, just come through to look at them, leave. But it seemed to me like this was something that was a regular thing for some people because they have oh my goodness, what do you call
You
it?
die a certain way, right? Like they treat you a certain way before you pass away or something.
Well, not that. What I mean is that when they put you into hospice, I think we were just like providing, this was a form of hospice. So
Oh,
I feel like this is a way to say it's okay to kill people by calling it hospice. Because I feel, and so now that they're calling it hospice, they're saying, oh, these are the procedures and these are the steps. But really, if you are not giving the people anything and you have literally sent them home and for 5 days, 7 days, or however many days it takes, you're depriving them of water, of um, food, of anything, um,
right.
medication. So they may or may not be in pain. We don't know. We're just not giving them anything. They may or may not be desiring conversation. We don't even know because, some people, I had one patient, she would go to sleep and wake up, and her parents and her brother were there with her at the end of her life, and she knew what was going on. They knew what was going on. and she was okay with where she was at that point. She had had a bowel obstruction, and they realized that it had damaged her very quickly to the point where they could not do anything else for her medically. And so her and the parents were like, "Oh, okay, well, you
Goodness.
know, we'll just work through the end of life." And her parents were with her, and when she would wake up, they would talk, she would smile, and then she would fall asleep and wake up, and they would offer her things, but she could at least accept or deny things, you know? And this lady, I don't know. Like, I wasn't maybe I came in after she was past that point. Maybe she was at a certain time at a point where she was still talking,
Right,
conversing, but all I
right.
know was she was in hospice, and this is not an uncommon practice for hospice, from my understanding, with different hospice, patients and different people I've spoken with. So I feel like, hospice it has different levels as well, but I feel like that's where we're controlling people's not destiny, but we're controlling their end of life. And I don't know that that's fair the way it's being done. I don't know if that's really fair to the people, for them to properly transition, because, I don't know what that does with the soul if they're speeding things up, slowing things down. I don't know. I'm just not well versed in that, and my spiritual connection isn't that way, so I have no idea, you know.
Maybe that's why so many people coming back.
Exactly.
You leave out that type of trauma.
Right.
I mean, I just thinking. I never thought about that till you said that, but just to think, as many people go through hospice, and that's what they're doing. Like you say, you're not gonna last over a week, and you already
Yes.
in dire straits when you go in there, so you're already weaker than you would, and they sit there and let you suffer. If
Ah,
anything, or they drug you up,
Mm-hmm.
and try to keep you, I don't know if you, I don't even know if that helps at that point, but you're right, it's all inhumane, and that may be a cause of trauma for them,
Yeah. And
unresolved trauma.
another thing I want to say, Donnie, is that Corey is here. He just wanted you to know he got a fresh cut today.
All right,
oh, okay.
all right, I'll send them that virtual cut.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out. We got the mobile barber in. He did what he would have done. So yeah, appreciate
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say too, I love y'all channel. I love the way you film it. Everything that you do, it's so polished that
Yes.
I mean, I envision this being on TV. Like not on YouTube, but on regular TV.
Right.
it.
Right.
You
I was
know,
all up into it. I got to watch some earlier, and I
oh,
always,
okay.
I always had to respond and let you know I've been here watching. Okay,
Mhm.
I've been here watching the commercial, liking and comment. Yes,
You
I
know
love
what though? I really appreciate you guys, because what we do is we definitely try to make sure that what we put on our channel is what we've been doing in person for years, going to museums, schools, libraries, and for lack of better words, white establishments, helping their agenda to move forward. They want to show, if they want to, they're like, oh, we need a storyteller, or oh, we need entertainment for this or that, or educational programming. We would provide it in all excellence, not realizing that we could have been doing this for ourselves. So we were like, well, shoot, now that the pandemic is here, it's like it's sort of like what the topic is right now with this whole alignment. It's like, oh, y'all killed all of that and lined us right on up for good. Like, we can really focus on, we can really focus on giving ourselves to our people, and whoever else, can receive it, not just this audience of this many people. Because no matter how big the stadium or whatever, it's never going to be, the potential is never going to be as far as the internet, or wherever else we put it for ourselves. So we said, you know what? Let's just do what we do and stay positive because there's so many negatives no matter what. Sort of like when you were talking about putting on your clothes, you trying to get ready to go somewhere, you're already late, and then you falling on the bed.
It'd be
And
funny
right. So you have to look at, all right, ancestors, I see y'all just trying to bring me down, calm me down, give me something to smile about. Because there's so
right?
many things, that can happen. And meanwhile, the reality of it is that life is really good. You
Yes,
know, we
yes,
we got so many options, we got so many opportunities. And
yeah,
then, you know, like you were saying, Donnie, when you're gone, you should be at peace. You should be okay with it. You should be ready for it
right.
instead of feeling like, wait a minute, I could have given my best and I didn't, you know. So we just really appreciate anybody that's and everybody that is saying that they appreciate the content we're putting out. And we work on it. I should say we have worked on it over the years. That's just been, what we've been
I'm
doing.
working on it too.
Yeah,
Oh Lord, I need a lot of work to get done.
we all do.
Yeah, we all do. And because that's the thing, we all still improving. And I'm just so proud of you because Kaya, um you have like 1 minute you're like, where's the button? And then the next minute, you got a thumbnail picture up. You got the live announced. You operating the buttons, and not that this is a difficult platform, but everything you still have to set something up. It doesn't do itself, and you have to put in some amount of work. And even for you to take out your device and record the videos before you were doing the live, people don't understand that process is still
Hey,
yeah, they consume it, they enjoy it, but you can't say to them and shout from the rooftops, I did this. It was just me and one other person, or me by myself this time, or whatever, you know, because the big producers and the major networks, they have the camera crews, they got the teams, and here we are in our black excellence just being, melanated and powerful, and we can boom.
hanging in there.
Right. Right. Hanging in there, doing the best, doing the most, doing what we can with what we have, and it's
Yeah.
appreciated, it's loved, it's accepted. So go ahead, Donnie. I'm sorry.
No,
You
you
about
good. I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, she on the ball.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, all of that was powerful.
Yeah, I talk a lot. Guys. I'm sorry. I was supposed to tell you the story real quick because
what this channel is for. People that talk a lot, honey. You ain't see you was in here with the 5 hour I'm not even gonna cut it up. I started to. I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. Not right now. I got to be in the mood, and then maybe I'll
Mhm.
chop it up. But then I'm
Well,
like already likes on it. I mean views on it. So let me just keep it like that. And plus, I looked at it like a little tester.
mhm.
So I'll do that. Um, if somebody really want to get to know me, which I'm a very beneficial person in anybody's life. I'm not saying I see everything and see the whole, everything. But if my third eye wake up, that's just what it is, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm good people, so why not? You know, I forgot what I'm saying, even though I forget what I'm saying a lot. Because I be trying to think of the next thing while I'm talking, and then all of a sudden, and I'll be thinking, and the ancestors be showing me stuff, and it depends. It depends on the moment. But I'm all over the place, and I don't like that about myself. I don't know why, but maybe I like people to just come. This is a channel where if you got a topic and it's interesting, you can come here, share it. I probably know something about it because I've been through so much. I don't look like my story, you know. So
Well, you know, I
I
will
just
say this.
experienced a lot, you know.
I will say this, that with this particular platform, what I like is that you can learn a lot from each other in a little bit of time. So, like,
Yes.
what I realize is that you can download the. I don't know if you noticed this already, but you can download your video after it's done. Within StreamYard, they have it so that you can download the video, which makes it easier for you to chop up. Because what I noticed is that people will use a snippet of a video and they will post it. So now they have a 10-minute video, and people will easily watch a 10-minute video, or they'll put up a 20-minute video or 15-minute video, you know, because they'll just take a profound moment from the video and they'll say, okay. And what makes it easy is this particular platform, because you can download your videos, you have more control. You don't have to download it from YouTube. You don't have to now try to get it back, you know. But, but yeah, and as we all know, it's a surveillance system. They already watched us. They already seen it. They watching it while we watching it. And they, just like when we were talking about how to break that window, I swear the I swear at that very moment it started glitching. When you got to the last part of the explanation, I was like, dang, the surveillance people are always glitching up the information, you know? So
No, they didn't.
I'm telling you. So that, you know, but that's where I'm saying with this particular platform and just with us as a people, we learn so quickly. So even if they take it all away, too late. We already got the information, you know,
Right.
and somebody's just going to figure out another way to do something else. But meanwhile, at least you know, at least we've all exchanged the knowledge that we've been gleaning from each other, and we all have been,
Right.
you know, and just becoming better, all of us. So yeah, they can't take that away.
No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no. But I just figure my platform can be for whoever. And I attract a lot of weirdos. And when I say weirdos, that's what outsiders, people that don't have any understanding, consider us as
Mhm.
weirdos. I get called all kinds of things. Weirdos, popular. I'm popular weirdos, nerd. I'm just all kinds of stuff, you know. And that's fine, you know. But it's just that I just wanna, it's just time. And even before, sorry, I had my celebrine in my head. When I went to my magic store, they told me that I need protection. What?
Mhm.
They said I needed protection because somebody's coming for me, on this platform, like try to hurt me. So, I'm surrounded around nothing but in my whole crib, I got nothing but weapons. Crystals all around me, other pieces. Like I do bad rituals, all that, whatever. I got all day, so they can bring it. Because I'm doing some other kind of shit, so they can go ahead if they want. I had that connection, so
Right.
the power and that I don't, I don't, I do protection. I don't do like try to, I haven't tried to study anything that would hurt somebody or anything like that. I haven't done that yet. I'm not saying I never will, but I can't see myself like just doing that. I'd rather just smack the shit out your ass. I get better pleasure out of that. Laying hands. Look, I'm still getting work. I'm still, the Most High is still working on me. I'm like a female Peter. Oh Lord. Okay.
Right. Well, you know, that's what I was saying when I was watching you last night. I was saying, you know, you with the crystals and the different things, that would be a great thing to talk about, you know. You different night, you talk about one thing as far as this particular set of protection or how this protects you. And because a lot of us
Yeah.
don't know that. We don't know. Like, a lot of the stuff I've been watching in this pandemic, I was like, wow, I did not know so much. Like the things that I knew, it was a waste of time to know, you
And this
know?
is Turmalin right here.
Yeah.
I always throw this one first because this keeps away a lot of negativity. It's real powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Real powerful.
I
And it
see it.
blocks like the radiation. When I first got it, it was chipping off negativity. Like
Mm-hmm.
my you see my hoodoo bag from last night, right?
Yes.
You see how ripped up it was? But the
Mhm.
also, wait a minute, the jet. I think I got the jet. Hold up. And my sock. Look, the spirit be telling me what to do. They coming for me. Okay? They see something that I don't value. That's how they got us as Africans. We looked at it as it was nothing, but to them it's something. So what they
Mhm.
see in me is something to them, but it's nothing to me. But this is me. This is how I am. I didn't practice to be this way. This is how I am. So either way, you still won't have it because you trying to learn it. I live it. It's a difference. Anyway, here come my jet. You feel me?
Mm.
That's my jet. And I wrote a little book. I started my little book. So I'll do that. I'll tomorrow, well, some next weekend.
Mhm.
I'll do because normally every week I have 13 of them. And this was real pretty. It was a necklace, beautiful necklace.
Yeah, that is
I had
like,
to post it one day, but it broke. Once I started getting the rest of my crystals, this is the one I got that case for, and I was spending money,
oh.
and they thought that this was diamond,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
the girl got it off my neck in the bathroom, but she asked to fix my tag. And I was drunk. I one of them happy drunks where I started buying everybody drinks and shit. I just want to have fun, and I figure it'd be peaceful, if everybody getting along. When I'm out, I like to have fun. I like everybody to get along. I'm not one of those people that expect people to be beefing. I expect everybody to get along and have fun.
Right.
So I don't really take well to hello. We're fine. Hello, hello.
I'm pressing the button.
Negi Def, what, bonjour. I'm learning. I gotta look. I've been taking some notes. Renee Marcus. I went and saved some of her videos. I learned Wolof.
Yeah.
She's a very good teacher. I tell you, that young lady. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think you have to say Etisane.
Is a saying.
I think he speaks Twi, so Etisane is how are you in Twi?
Oh,
Okay.
you know.
You add that to the list.
Ah, I'm gonna be cracking up, boy. I'm gonna be having fun when I get to Africa. I got my passport, Prince. It's like no.
Oh
I
yeah,
got it
congratulations.
lifted. Just gotten there. And you need to send me my birth certificate. I'll tell you that. I'm ready to be out, and I have to find out if I can get my visa when I get there. So my lease is over in March, so we're gonna move. The awesome plan is to get a place with my roommate, stay there, save up, and then I'm gonna do what I gotta do in Africa, and he's gonna let me come back and stay with them again, and then I'll start paying rent again. But I don't have to pay anything once I leave to Africa to do what I gotta do. But when I come back, I gotta start paying my half again. I think that's
Mm.
kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's supposed to be the agreement. We'll see. If not, he gonna get bad luck. Hey, I learned a long time ago when people do me dirty, they get bad luck. When the Most High showed me that I never had to lift a finger again to smack the shit out of somebody, because I was loving doing that. I stopped doing it as much. Sometimes I'd be like, look, you take it too long. I don't like that. And then that's when he started increasing on that shit. Like for real. One day, this lady, she kept on picking with me. This is when I got saved on the Pentecostal. This is when I learned this. and she kept. That's when I was doing a caregiver, and the lady was an alcoholic that I was taking care of, and she had this old man come over, old lady, had this guy come over, and she had a daughter, but her daughter looked a little dark, like like witch-like, and that's when I didn't understand that magic is that's what we do, and I didn't know no better then. But I sensed she was doing something dark, not anything good anyway. So that is not good. So she lose, and
Mm-hmm.
the woman kept talking about, oh, teasing me, excuse me, because I'm Christian at the time, and I'm holier than thou, and basically a good girl. I mean, she just talking all this shit. So I went in the bathroom. I started speaking in tongues. I don't know what I was saying, but I know in my mind I said, "You better do something because I'm ready to smack the shit out this old lady and fuck this man up in here." Excuse my French, but that's what I was saying. So I hope I wasn't saying that in tongues. But in my mind, that's what I was saying. But I said, please don't let me hit her because I don't want to do that because I really like doing this job and I don't want to lose my job. You know what I'm saying? So. And let me tell you something. Oh, hey, hello, how you doing? Oh, that's you. I bought me two pairs of glasses. Remember on one of my videos, I had the broken glasses. The other pair, my black ones, in the car. But anyway, not even a couple months later, her daughter ended up dying. And the Most High said, you know, and I was like, wow, like damn. And then it was just like this lady in church, she kept, doing little shady shit, like, and only I could pick it up because I'm seeing this energy. And, so I told her, the spirit told me to tell her she need to go to the altar. When the Most High tell you to go to the altar, you need to go. And she thought it was a crock of shit, like I was just phony. Because, I was this, person living this lifestyle, coming up in church, like, don't nobody like that get blessed. So do you believe that you really preaching and praising too? Because it's still not real over here, because I'm not being fake about it at all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up getting sick and ended up in the hospital. It was enough. Like every time somebody do me dirty, they don't get no luck. None. And I learned that, So like I said, if he honor it, he honor it. If he don't, he don't. But it's sad. But I believe he will, because he a cool guy. He's all right person. So we'll see.
Sounds good. I think it's time to wind it down.
Oh yeah. I could talk
Pass
forever.
we passed your hour. So
I know.
can we? I want to roll this out back into the theme. So we done seen a couple of aspects of coming back to. I forgot what you said. The things that that come in line with our transitioning, or I forget how you put it. How did you put it in the title? I forget. Aligning with death. So we seen that things happen in our lives and they all line up some shape or form to when our transition, and we've seen sometimes we got people that are being transitioned without their will and receiving trauma. Then we see people that was ready to transition, but and they were not transitioned, or I don't say give another chance, or so. Where do we go with these things, basically?
I feel like we should be careful who we deal with, where we're going. Let the spirit lead you, and just get a connection with him, and have a will for something, so that if that moment comes where it is costing you your safety or your life, you'll have something to believe in to help you, to help that energy, to tap into that sort of energy that will we start where you don't have to actually be born. You can just, you know, get hurt or whatever and get out that situation, if that makes sense. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain that.
Hmm.
That's what I do. I've done it. You know, I've done it. You know, the will for it, and I just take that will, and it bring me out a lot of things.
You know,
But
that's
sorry,
what my oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I said sorry, and then I put my
Oh,
head.
okay. Well, you know, and I was going to say that my mom has said, like, for us as African Americans or as Africans or just as Black people, she said, you know, we have a strong will. She said we have a strong will, and specifically, she was saying we have a strong will to live. So that's one reason why we can endure, we can, you know, overcome things, and just make it. And so I believe that same will, it carries on, you know, into the next life when you're coming back or whatever. So, you know, I feel like that's also why we have to, even while we're in this life, you know, make sure that our will is strong, that is positive, because if it's negative, I feel like it affects things negatively as well. But that we always have to make sure that, you know, our will is a good intent. Our will is, you know, always in the right direction, because I feel like it affects other people's lives as well. It affects their souls. It affects their, you know, mannerisms and actions, and you know, yeah, definitely. Um, that's what I feel like we have to do with this. You know, the same way I willed that lady, I said, look, you know, you can't, you got to stay alive while I'm on watch because I don't know what your will is, but I know what mine is. So I just made my will stronger than hers at that moment. But I feel like your will is really important.
I agree. Um,
I do
I
too.
I would say that I'm just thinking about what you said. I want people just to imagine the will our ancestors had for us to even be here. The things that they went through, the torture, the rape, the murder, the all the things that they did, and they still survived. And I think a lot of times we forget, and it reminds me of this our last conversation about the suicidal tendencies and stuff. Just imagine our ancestors went through all these things for us to be here. They didn't do that for us to just walk away and give it up willingly. If you still here and you haven't transitioned yet, you got a part to play. We all got a part to play in the uplifting of our people, our family. I'm slowly walking into what I've been called to do, and I'm seeing it as this stuff is going on. This even this pandemic that's been going on. This
Oh,
this
sorry. I'm
this
so
this attack that's been going on, and it's been so
messed up
damaging
today.
to so many people, and has taken many lives. It's all come to the point to help us, because I wouldn't have known about YouTube if it wasn't that didn't happen. I mean, I wasn't thinking about YouTube or anything until we all got to sit in the house and couldn't leave. So it's just with every, even with the death, even with the loss of life and the loss of everything, that we still survive. We still coming out this thing better. No matter what they try to do to destroy us, they can't. We still. I know they thinking we like, how they say, like we roaches, like roaches never die.
But they
I
the
know they,
roaches.
yeah, they multiply. I know they sit there and think like, why we can't exterminate these people? Like, I don't care what we do, the food, the TV, the whatever we do to them, these people, they will not die. So
Mm-mm.
we got a purpose to be here, and we all got to start walking in our purpose, and aligning ourselves with the Most High, and those of us that getting levels of understanding that hiding or at another level than others, then we got an obligation to try to bring some of these people along. Those that got ears to hear, let them hear, and those that have eyes to see, let them
Let me
see.
see.
So I'll leave it at that, and thank you for having me on again.
Oh man, it's always a pleasure. I know one thing. I'm gonna, take my Scooby snack and I'm doing one more topic. I promise, one more. And I want to do one on children that look like the parent and how the other parent mistreat them versus towards the other children. That's pondering me. So I don't want to go to bed without talking about that. So I would love y'all support on that one. A blind guy and his wife. I would love for you to come in the chat with us and talk about that because I know you know somebody if it's not yourself.
Right.
Friends, come back. I would love for you to come back. But I feel like it's just the spirits made me write those topics down, and that it keeps standing out to me. So I don't want to go to sleep. So I would love for you guys to join me for that. Those of you who came in here, if you like what you hear so far, you got some important topics, something on your mind, you want to talk about it and share it, feel free to join. Reach out to me. Send me a message or something. I'll be more than happy to talk about it. I'm sure Donnie, he's always here. Blind guy and his wife, she's always here. I'm trying to think of a nickname for her because I gave everybody a nickname with the word queen in it. Just haven't thought of nothing yet. The spirits didn't tell me that. It's getting on my nerves. Oh, Queen Audacious.
Oh, wow.
What? They just gave me one. No, you don't like that?
I don't know. I'm just like, oh, okay. You know.
Audacious is exactly what you and your family are.
Mm-hmm.
Out the box.
Right. Right.
Very unique. Creative.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So it's Queen Audacious. And I call him King Up.
Right.
But I would love to talk about that topic. I feel like normally when I feel like this, somebody need to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I've reached my expiration date for for today. So yeah.
yes, and I can't wait to wake up and see what's going on. What's going on your channel? You're gonna be the first one I click on in the morning.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah,
So
we're
thank
doing
you. I'm so flattered. I'm sorry, I just had to say it again. I'm so flattered to have you on here.
Oh no, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime somebody is sharing their space, it's an honor, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's so awesome. Thank you, once again. Do this child thing, and I think I'll make that for a half an hour, and then we can go.
That'll work.
You're like, right in my channel, you get famous, girl. All right, talk to you guys. Prince, we would love to have you back if you're willing to join us. Maybe you can come in the chat, and maybe you know somebody who's been mistreated that looks like a parent, one of the parents. Let me go. Be right back.